Both of the teams have said they're ready, and with that, we should be good to go very soon. Void
And now we're
Gaming on the
going.
blue side, and Enigma on the red side.
Yeah, and the first ban will be Hecarim. Cactus has a very good game, had a very good game on Hecarim last game, and he looked very great with those teleport plays he did. And generally in a team fight, he really did a very good job on finding his target and locked him down and killed him.
Yep, but he did the same thing on the Fizz previously, so I have to wonder, how effective is this Hecarim ban really, and what else are they going to take off the table? Alistar was banned on the side of Enigma. They really have to hate that champion. They've banned him 3 times in a row now. On the other side, Bard, we saw that last game already, not something that Void Gaming wants to play against. Then Ryze, another one of those champions that Enigma really can't deal with. They've taken him off the board for a 3rd time in a row. Last time, they also banned Echo. Don't want to deal with that, but we'll see first what Void Gaming bans. Because with only 2 bans left, one of them probably going towards Echo from Enigma, that leaves all 3 junglers up, a lot of the mid laners, still a number of top laners too, and all of the supports aside from Alistar and Bard. Like, Echo is actually banned now by Void Gaming, which in turn leaves a jungle ban, for example, open for for Enigma. It's kind of difficult though, because if they ban out a jungler, Void Gaming still has the first pick, and they've got free choice out of everything. So we'll see what they
Yeah,
actually do.
and Azir is still open, Fizz is still open, there are a lot of picks, and Kalista is open, so we will see what the first pick will be, but there are a lot of very important picks open, because Superior is open, a lot of very good picks are open for both teams that to be picked up, and both teams will be looking to grab something, and it looks like it will be the first pick Fizz. So a flex pick that can go either mid, jungle, or top. But Fizz has been seeing a lot of plays in the top lately, and that's mainly because he can go onto a target, stick onto them, and just be a pain for whoever is the target of the Fizz. He can stick to them all the time, and he has a lot of damage just from his abilities without building damage items. But while I was talking, we see the picks on the opposite side.
Yeah, Gragas already locked in again, and Morgana currently being hovered. Yeah, Gragas, something that Nico is extremely good at. He had beautiful flash body slam plays, and of course fortunate. This would be his 3rd game in a row on Morgana, and he's just been phenomenal with those dark bindings, always landing them when necessary. The dark shields were good. The soul shackles are one of their primary peeling tools for the entire team, and it'll really make it hard for the rest of Void Gaming to keep up. The Varus ban actually really surprised me, because that's something that Enigma played very well earlier on, and they apparently have so much respect that Fear could pick it up that they want to ban it off and take it off the table as fast as possible. So we'll see what else is going to come in here. I think my champion select was bugged a bit, but it's now back. But with Gragas locked in, you know what's going to come. It's the Rek'Sai being hovered right now. I wouldn't be surprised if that's also locked in.
Yeah, 2 early game junglers are being picked. Oh,
Whoa!
Misfortune!
This is
Oh.
awesome. This
Oh,
is
wait.
great.
Oh, something happened.
Okay. Was that? It might have either been a misclick or a placeholder.
They couldn't pick.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense now, because it was really weird. It was already bugged for me earlier, so
Yeah,
I'm
it was
glad I'm
bugged
not
for
the
me as
only
well.
one. We'll get all the players back in as fast as possible. There's Fear again. Now they have to reorder themselves real quick, and then we can get into that. Damn. I was already so happy. Come on, guys. That's not nice.
Yeah, I wanted to see that Misfortune. That would have been really awesome. That's a very long time since I've seen it. I think the last time I've seen it to being played in a competitively scene that would be Yellow Pete playing it when he was on EG.
Everyone now banning out the A's, obviously. Or rather, interestingly, because they're not entirely allowed to do that. Because not the entire champion select has gone through. They don't know what the other team would actually want to pick. And now they've cancelled champion select again. Because someone's an idiot. Yeah. the proper bans. They have to do real bans. Because, obviously, as I was just saying, they haven't done the entire champion select yet, and because of that, certain champions might have been taken off the board with those random bans. Ahri, for example, could have been an option here. Either way, we're finally back into the third time of champion select. Maybe we'll manage to get through it this time. At least the bans are getting quicker and quicker. They're getting better at this.
Yeah, and we don't have to talk about whatever they pick as their first picks again. Anyways, if it would have been a misfortune, that would have been very, very risky for them to pick as their starter.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. We'll see. So here's the Rek'Sai. We've already seen that. We've talked about what it can do. It has an amazing amount. God, tongue, please.
But
an
it is
amazing amount
Sivir.
of world map pressure, and then the Sivir to go along with that. It makes perfect sense. Together with a Rek'Sai and a Fizz, they're good at engaging fights. They're good at running around the map. They're extremely mobile. Everything. So far, I'm not very surprised. They've got that strong AD carry, and now Enigma are just messing with us, hovering the Misfortune, hovering the Aatrox. Not gonna pick either one of those up, but I'm interested to see what else they take. They've already played a Corki to great effect. They had what did they play in the bot lane earlier? Something else.
They played. Oh God, let me take a look. They played.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx and Corki and
Exactly.
Morgana 2 times.
Yeah, so they did extremely well with both the Jinx and the Corki. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jinx again, because they've already got the Morgana. However, it is quite dangerous still against a Rek'Sai and a Fizz. They still lock it in. They're confident that Sliver can do it. His positioning has been very exceptionally good in these last couple fights, aside from the one where he got caught out by Annie. And then they pick up the Gnar as well. That one's not banned out this time. Cactus here on yet another challenge champion.
So a lot of peeling for the Jinx once they get into a team fight. Sliver will have to just focus on farming up and being as strong as possible for whenever Cactus and Fortunate will just be peeling for him in team fights. He has to just stand in the back and utilize his rocket's AoE damage. Also, whenever Cactus does land his ultimate, he will stun them, and it will allow Sliver to just stand there, shoot a lot of rockets at them, and do tons of damage in AoE damage. But on the other side of Void Gaming, we are seeing a Cho'Gath and a Janna being locked. No, not locked, but hovered over. And with 5 seconds to go, I'm not quite sure it will be Cho'Gath, and it looks like it will be a Victor. So Victor and Janna, a lot of engage for Void Gaming with the Fizz and the Rek'Sai, and a lot of disengage with Sivir and Janna. And it's Lux coming in again as a instant lock. Are you with me, Scoos? Okay, so I'm just gonna talk. Right now we are seeing.
Oh, well, this time my mic just died. Okay, I wasn't even muted. I was just gone. Anyway, what I wanted to say. You know, I'll just go now because
Yeah, you'll go.
I still wanted to speak. The Victor makes a lot more sense than the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath could have tried to insta hit to one shot the Jinx. That would have been quite risky because he's very easily kited, and with all the peel that you've already mentioned, it would have been very, very hard to actually get at her. It seems like Caps really enjoys playing the pokey far back champions. That's exactly what he's gone for 3 times in a row now. Back on the Lux. He had a very difficult early game, getting camped for quite a while earlier. This time around, we'll see whether he's able to do a little bit better against that Victor.
And now there is a Nautilus on the side of Void Gaming to annoy Caps. That was really his nemesis in the last games, where Nautilus would just roam into the mid lane, hit Caps with his passive, and Caps would be dead because he was locked down. He had nowhere to go once his flash was down, and then they would just focus on Caps, making him die like 4 times in a row in the laning phase. But Caps managed to get back because he got some kills and he did a very good job at farming. But generally, he has to be really careful since he doesn't pick up the clans like Fear did. So Fear does have a bit more survivability on the side of Victor. Victor isn't a very mobile champion, so having a cleanse is a very good option.
Yeah, once again, as we've talked about before, the cleanse on the vulnerable mid laners has just become a very popular pickup. And another thing is, Fizz, once again, we're seeing him with a smite. It's fallen out of popularity, especially over in Korea. Here, apparently, they still really want to play that. They're going to try to make that work and to just bully someone out with a Cinderhawk. However, against a Gnar, that's actually going to be quite difficult. Gnar is not going to care, and then just jump into the big team fights and really try to play around his rage bar with the rest of the team. And considering how pokey, I'll just use that, I'll just invent that word right now, Lux is, it's actually very well possible. She just throws down a light binding, she throws down the Lucent Singularities, that's her E, all the time. Her final spark has an extremely low cooldown towards the later stages of the game, and she'll just use that to constantly push the waves, poke everyone out, poke them off the objective until they can fight with the rage bar of Gnar, and then go in, then ruin everyone's day on the side of Void Gaming and just take them apart. So, let's see how well Enigma is able to do that. As we said several times now, they've always fallen behind in the early game. And Victor and Sivir, together with Rek'Sai, are three champions that do extremely well with early leads and try to shut you down from there on. So I think if Enigma aren't careful and give those leads up early on again, they might finally get punished for that.
Yeah, they might definitely get punished for that. And I'm really curious to see how they'll play around the power spikes this time, because in the last two games we've seen, they have had different power spikes all the time. They've had one power spike that'll start it all, and it'll just get followed by different power spikes. But this time, their power spikes lies around the two items from both the mid laners, the AD carry, and the top laner. All get their main power spikes when they get two items around there, and then they get the power spike that they want, and then they have to start really snowballing the game from there. But if they fall too far behind, then two items is a long way to go.
Exactly, so can't afford to do that. Can't afford to always play from behind. At least you don't want to anyway. It's so much more exhausting if you're ahead. Much easier to close out the game, to get further ahead, and then win. What's interesting again, Caps on his mid laners really likes that Ghost. He's run it several times now, just for the extra mobility. It's very, very useful when you're on a champion that doesn't have a flash or a dash or anything like that himself, or a blink. Of course he picks up flash alongside, but that's why he doesn't like to go for the cleanse, because he doesn't need it. He says, I'm just not going to get caught by anything, instead I'm going to run away. Which works sometimes, and it'll especially work against a composition like that out of Void Gaming, where there isn't actually any hard CC. The knockup from Rek'Sai can't be cleansed anyway, and then the only thing that really remains is a slow. And there's not as much point to cleansing a slow. The Ghost will actually do a lot more good. That's why she picked that up. On the other side, Victor obviously going with that cleanse against the Dark Binding out of Morgana, the Light Binding out of Lux, because those two together will keep you locked up for over 5 seconds, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is definitely ridiculous, and Fear really have to be careful of Fortunate roaming on that Morgana, because a good dark binding coming in for Fortunate will definitely make the difference between life or dead. But if Caps can proc that cleanse before Fortunate comes to the mid lane, if he decides to gag, then their bindings will probably hit at different times, and then Fear really has to know when he has to cleanse. And I'm really looking forward to see how he will cleanse, because it's gonna be a difficult choice of cleansing at the right time.
So we are finally on to the Rift and can see which team will actually come out ahead. Fizz obviously starting with that crystalline flask going up to the top lane. Gonna match up against a Gnar with a Doran's Blade. Twice now we've seen Enigma actually pull out a lane swap, and we'll see whether they do it a third time. It is their specialty, and it is something they love to do. But especially the first time it went bad because Caps just had to die in the mid lane, and then they needed to reformulate their game plan. Now Cactus is spotted out in the top lane by Fizz, and that'll give Void Gaming the feeling that there won't be a lane swap, but they might still do one. It's exactly what happened last time, and we see, as soon as Nara was revealed, Jinx starts recalling and Morgana starts walking over, and the lane swap happens again. However, this time, Void Gaming actually call it. So I don't know now. I don't actually know which team wants the lane swap more, because Void Gaming, they saw the Gnar and instantly started swapping, and the same thing happened for Enigma. So,
But it does look like Diesel is going to just be a jungle body with Anon GD.
yeah,
But
I mean,
they all walking to the top.
oh, but Sivir gets spotted out by the Dark Binding, and because of that, she probably knows now that the lane swap comes in as well. Thought about recalling again, and this will make it very interesting. They know now that there is a 2 versus 2 lane up at the top, and that means Morgana and Jinx will take these Krugs away, and that will give them the experience and damage, the experience and gold advantage in the top lane. Sivir and Janna have to go right to the lane because Fizz is starting at the Gromp. So here, the advantage overall, with Gnar just alone in the bot lane for the time being, I'd say definitely in favor of Enigma already.
Yeah, it does, and a very good choice from Sliver and Fortuna to just go for these Crocs while there still is time, knowing that they are gonna be against the lane that they didn't want to go up against. So just instead of being denied experience and gold, then just go for something and not fall too far behind. And we can really see how Diesel is just poking away Cactus here in the bot lane, and Cactus only has one pot, and they're really going aggressive.
Yeah, Daesor knew he was already level 2 while Cactus was still on level 1. He is almost turning into Mega Gnar. That'll give him a good amount of sustain as well. But Daesor playing very well around the fact that he did get an early camp and then teleported into the lane. It is something you can easily do with Fizz. Pick up one of the early jungle camps, then run into the lane with a teleport. Pick up an extra ward and an extra couple of potions. The ward will let you play very aggressive for a long time because you are so safe. And if you can get the early level 2 and bully your opponent out exactly as he did, that's a huge lane advantage for him already. So Morgana and Jinx up in the top lane, they're just going to try and play safe, farm up a bit until Jinx hits all the power spikes that she wants to. Gragas sat around the top lane, would have been spotted by that ward, so he just sneaks into the lane, and we'll see whether he can actually make a lane gank happen. It'd be extremely hard, but extremely successful if it does work.
Yeah, and actually right now we can see that Sliver are pulling ahead, and now Nico is sneaking in behind. He is a really aggressive jungler, and he has always in these 2 games been on a very aggressive early game jungler, and now he's just moving up into the brushes, and Sliver is trying to make the wave push back towards him and let Nico go in for a gank.
Yeah, the setup is extremely interesting because Enigma saw the ward from Void Gaming go down in their tri-bush. So they know that there isn't one in those lane bushes. They can say that with 100% accuracy. And because of that, Gragas gets in there. Mid lane is trading a lot, but Gragas was able to get in there. And because that, Jinx just started hard shoving the wave. And now Sivir and Janna have no idea this is happening. Janna face checks the bush, is gonna get caught. Dark Binding lands as well, right into the Flame Chompers. There is no way in hell she's gonna survive that one. Gragas picks up an easy first blood, and it's so well set up. For 1.5 minutes, they prepared that gank, and then they play it out beautifully, get rewarded. Gragas picks up the kill, and Enigma here with a beautiful early game plan.
And we are really just seeing how well Enigma are playing as a team. We've seen there's coming in a gank.
Yeah, Gragas is here as well, so it's going to be a 2 versus 2, and that alone should thwart any further aggression. The light binding goes wide, so they can't get onto Victor. Instead, Gragas turns onto Rexa and wants to do a little bit more damage. Just a couple of auto hits, and both sides back off again.
Yeah, both sides very well read from Nico just being there for the counter gank, and right now in the bot lane we're just seeing Kokus shoving up the wave and taking a bit of damage from Daesor, but now it's Daesor being played around with, and it's not Cactus that is being bullied around.
Does, or he got found, the body slam lands, the barrel hits as well, the playful tricks are going to keep him safe, but he took another hit of damage. All his crystalline flask charges are already gone, and now he's used his last health potion. So any more poke from Cactus that comes out now will definitely stick.
Yeah, it will definitely stick. And Caps is doing a great job in the mid lane of just poking away onto Fear, and oh, that Dark Binding lands, but nothing can come of it since there is a wave there that will deal a lot of damage to Enigma if they went into it. And now they have the vision of the jungler for Void Gaming.
Yeah, so just going to be very careful. Sit underneath that turret. If Morgana lands a Dark Binding, that'll always be a chance for Jinx to throw out the Flame Chompers, maybe get a little bit of extra poke in, and then just stay safe again. Gnar doing a very good job here, and he is level 6 with that ultimate and a Mega Gnar, so he could have thought about diving, but didn't hit the first skill, and because of that, just says, thank you very much, I'll keep farming and not try to kill you just yet. Fizz has his teleport again. He will want to go back very soon to restack those flask charges to really make sure that he's safe again, because right now, look at the hurt that he's taking.
Yeah, he is taking so much damage, and it looks like he'll be going back now. So he will
3 versus 3.
He will not miss a wave, but in the top lane we are gonna see a counter gang coming in, so be ready.
Here is Rek'Sai. She gets the knock up onto Jinx right after the face check. She uses the heal, will still stay alive. One more flash forward from PV Pro owner getting that kill, and because of the spell shield, she stays safe despite the Dark Binding and turret range. Very well played, and it's just these guys, they face check all the time. Jinx had a ward. She didn't put it down, got knocked up by Rek'Sai, and that spells certain death for her.
Yeah, not the smartest of ideas to face check a brush while you have a ward. That is definitely true, and well, very well played for them, but if she had survived, then it would have been set up really perfect since Owner was caught on the tower from the Chompers. But unfortunately he didn't, and now Enigma does have the teleport advantage, so we could maybe start to see something happen around the dragon, since Cactus is just gonna be walking all the way back to lane, and that's not gonna happen so much. The lane swap is gonna come from Void Gaming. So whenever the dragon is being started, then there will be an advantage over to Void Gaming, since they have the bot lane there, more damage than a Gnar at this stage.
So really, I mean, that's Void Gaming saying, hey, Fizz can't deal with this Gnar right now, so let's swap back and just try to go for the standard lanes, then see where we can go from there. The question is, what do Enigma do right now? They're still shoving out the top lane as hard as they can because they know Fizz isn't there yet. They want to deny as many minions and as much experience as in any way possible, and get as much damage onto the tower as they can. They might even be able to take it down here, and then the lane swap is definitely going to be a big win for them. Right now, though, the Fizz ultimate comes out, nothing more going to happen. He has to back off, couldn't go in there, but the dragon being taken while all this is happening. Lux sitting around the corner, she's trying to steal, she does get it with the final spark. That is a dragon steal, and that is huge.
And Anon had smite right there, so just a miscalculation from Anon, and they had a ward there. They could have seen Caps coming onto them with Lux. Just a misplay from Anon, just not really respecting Caps' damage on the Lux.
Okay, so Enigma were already winning the lane swap just because Fizz said, I can't deal with Gnar, I have to swap back. Because of that, the entire swap was slow on the side of Void Gaming. They were behind, they didn't get any tower pressure on, and Jinx with a minigun is so good at killing towers that it only took them 2 waves to kill the entire top tower. That meant Jinx was ahead in farm, Gnar was ahead in farm, they got the first tower of the game, and then Lux stole Dragon all on her own, flashes out of the gravity field from Victor, knows she could have died there if she hadn't. Very good play from her. But she's also ahead in farm. Like, everything is going well for Enigma right now, and it's just outplays on every corner for this first part of the game.
Yeah, they are really starting to pull ahead, and that's not what you want with a Jinx on the opposite side as Void Gaming. Void Gaming does not have the Jinx, they have the Sivir, so they have hard engage. And even though Jinx is only 85 to 78 CS, Void Gaming still has to be careful, since since that oh, now I lost my thought. They still have to be careful because Jinx is a better beast the in the late game than Sivir, so having her ahead in CS is definitely something you have to watch out for.
And they played this lane swap just beautifully. They take out the top tower, then rotate over. Jinx taking out the bot one and is now chasing onto Rek'Sai as well. Rek'Sai going very low. Morgana coming in. Flash forward. The Dark Binding not landing, but Gragas is still there. Lands the ultimate. That's going to be an easy kill. Sliver taking that one down. Despite the Flash Binding missing, Gragas is there to save the day, and that'll make it 2-1. 1-1-1 on the Jinx. 2 towers to 0, and a comfortable 2,500 gold lead.
And that is some very good synergy coming in from Enigma Gaming. They really are just showing how well they are playing together, and they also showed how bad of a vision game Void Gaming are playing right now. They don't even have a Void Stone, a Ward Stone yet, Side Stone, sorry, and Enigma Gaming have 2 Side Stones right now, so they are really starting to fall behind in terms of warding, and with the 2 sweepers they already have and no upgraded yellow trinkets, then they will have a hard time on placing down some wards unless they get some side stones.
Exactly, about 2.5 minutes I think remaining on that dragon respawn timer, and considering they already got the first one, Enigma will want that one as well. But right now, the 2 versus 4 down in the bot lane, the teleport coming in as well. Jinx already doing massive damage over on Victor in the backline. Morgana was taken out, so far a 1-for-1. Janna getting hit up by by Jinx, sorry about that one. But here is Gragas finally in the mix as well. Gnar not gonna get big, but the Super Mega Death Rocket picks up one more. A 2-for-2 trade so far. Sivir just limping away though. The boomerang hits her, and here's Gragas with that ultimate. It is spell shielded, but one more auto attack out of Gnar. Picks up the kill, and a 3-for-2 exchange, and Jinx survived, got another 2 kills. So the right person here grabbing more gold for the side of Enigma too.
Enigma are really starting to pull ahead, and Void Gaming have to be really careful now. They don't want to fall behind against the late game team, and if this trend continues, I think that Void Gaming already have to think about the second game.
Yeah, they don't want to fall behind. You say that, but they're already 3,000 gold behind right now, and that dive on the bot lane was something they initiated. And yes, they took out Morgana before she could even ultimate. Good job, guys. But the problem is, Jinx got 2 kills. That gets her closer to her late game spike. She already has not only the Infinity Edge done, but her boots upgraded as well, while Sivir is still sitting on the components and level 1 boots. And now Dragon is up in less than 1.5 minutes, and right now, all the power lies with Enigma. Their Gnar is 40 CS, almost 40 CS ahead. He's got his Hex Drinker. He's rapidly building towards a Frozen Mallet as well. Already has a Giant's Belt and a Pickaxe. And when he has that item, he just kites everyone around for days. Does even more damage. Like, I don't even see how Void Gaming want to contest the next dragon. Right now, Owner in a whole bunch of trouble. He wants to use that spell shield for a big spell like the Dark Binding, but it's not even necessary just because they have the raw damage to take him out anyway. Goes down without a fight, and things like that are not allowed to happen.
No, it is not allowed to happen, and you can just see that. Wow, Anon, you have to be careful now, mate.
Yeah, but considering Victor is there, that's going to be his saving grace because the Dark Binding missed. Still the body slam forward. Lux still has a lot of damage, and that's going to be another kill. Nico taking that one down, and with 20 seconds on the dragon, Rek'Sai won't even be alive when it spawns. Just about not. 1 second late, but that's definitely going to be an uncontested dragon for Enigma now.
Yeah, it probably will be, and they are so far ahead. But whenever Void Gaming if they want to contest this dragon, they really have to be careful because there are like 4 carries on the side of Enigma already. They have the Gnar, who is really far ahead and have a lot of damage. Nico, he is so tanky. He has the true damage from his jungler item, and they don't even contest the dragon. But then again, Lux so far, well, not so far ahead, but she is even with Victor, and that is very good. And Sliver is just so super far ahead right now, and Cash gets caught.
Yeah, Caps got completely caught by that gravity field. Still had his flash, so he could have tried to get out of that. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't, because he had to know that all that burst was going to kill him. Either way, he goes down. The top tower might also die. Nope, not just yet, because Nara's around just in time. Might be able to clear out the minion wave. Either way, that tower will only take a breath to fall over, and that'll be a nice amount of gold over to Void Gaming when they do manage to make it happen. But is that really enough? Because right now, everything else has just gone so badly, and everything they've tried has backfired. They tried the dive on the bot lane. They failed. They tried to go aggressive with Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai got killed. They get, Sivir is trying to farm in the bot lane. She gets killed by Morgana and Jinx. No matter what Void Gaming have tried in the last 5-10 minutes, it's gone badly for them. They've given up kills left and right, and because of that, right now there's still that 3,000 gold lead, and 2 turrets to 0, 2 dragons to 0. That's only going to get worse the longer the game goes on.
Yeah, but Void Gaming really needs to start picking up these outer turrets. There are so much... Oh, he gets caught. Anyways, there are so much gold just waiting for them, so much global gold waiting for them in this map. And if they do get that global gold, they will be able to get back into the game. Most of the gold that Enigma are ahead are global gold, and I'm not saying it's all of the gold, but it will definitely help them get back into the game, and the owner has to be careful now.
That was 1 crit onto Sivir, and she's down a quarter of her HP. Anyway, I really like that Void Gaming didn't contest the dragon earlier, because the second one is not worth a lost team fight. They didn't have a jungler either, so they say, okay, we have to give this one up. No worries, we'll just try to get the next one then. And if we can't get the next one, it's still a couple of ones until the 5th Baron. Right now, Victor trying to go aggressive onto Lux does stun her as well, and that should thwart any further aggression over there. But Nara keeps pushing in the top lane, recalls, buys items, keeps doing the same thing. Jinx, because Morgana came around in time and she managed to get so much damage down onto Sivir, not able to be dived, she's free farming this entire time. Lux, able to stay safe aside from that 1 death just a second ago in the mid lane, which was very unfortunate. Also just happily farming away once she gets that death cap. Lux is going to be really, really, really scary. And I don't see how Void Gaming right now want to try get back into this game. They can't really make catches because they just don't have the damage to kill someone in the time that it takes other members from Enigma to respond and be there as well. They also can't go for the team fights because the team fight composition and potential out of Enigma is just vastly superior.
Yeah, but they have to just have someone split pushing, like in the bot lane right now, where they have the bot team just getting the towers, but now Enigma responds with pushing the mid.
Yeah, they're trading 1 outer turret for 2 towers in the mid lane. That Super Mega Death Rocket just to keep someone back. Okay, they're not quite getting this inner turret just yet, but Victor is low. He has to recall, and with the next minion wave, this tower should be dead. Actually, you know what? Enigma says, okay, we did more than half the HP in damage to that tower. We can happily relax a little. Sivir won't be able to push our inner tower down fast enough, and if she actually got close, Nar could still teleport. So with this next wave, they're easily taking the middle one. Now Nar has already pushed the top lane, so they can go over there, steal the blue buff, then push the top lane. It's just so smooth. They go from lane to lane to lane, prepare it beforehand, easy pickups left and right, and I don't know, like Void Gaming is just more than 1 step behind at this point.
Yeah, Enigma are doing a great job at playing the rotation games. Oh, Anon's going in.
Yeah, he wants to get the engage right now, but where does he go? The explosive cast knocks Victor back further. They have no further CC. They don't have anything. Yes, they forced the team of Enigma into the jungle, so they're able to pick this mid turret up, but that only had like 100 HP. And burning all these resources, well, they didn't really burn anything, but putting so much effort into getting down 1 tower, yes, you get the global gold, but if it's that hard for you to even get an outer tower with 100 HP, how much harder is it going to be to contest that dragon that's coming up in a minute? Now Void Gaming are actually making a very good move, going up to the top lane, stealing away the enemy red buff, and then moving in on the top in outer turret, trying to take that one down. As you mentioned earlier, they want the outer turrets to die, and then move around the map. They're still trying to push onto the inner one as well, but the defense from Enigma is already there.
And now Void Gaming is only behind 2,000 gold. They are starting to pull ahead, and it looks like Enigma wants to engage on them, but now Sliver does have his Phantom Dancer, so a very big power spike coming in for Sliver. And the problem right now for Enigma Gaming is that if they want to fight, then they can't dive the towers because there are so much CC for Void Gaming. They have to jump the waters that will lock anybody down that are going on under the tower, and Rek'Sai can knock people up. They have the CC from Fear and a lot of AoE damage as well. So Enigma are currently just waiting for the objectives to come up and then try to contest them. Try to out-rotate Void Gaming and do something where they can't be caught in a bad corner and then die while being CC'd, and that is exactly what happens at the Dragon. They will be in a very open area, and then Void Gaming really has to be careful.
Trying to go in, they landed the fish onto Jinx as well. She's already taken a huge amount of damage, has to flash away, but the Chaos Storm down right on top of Morgana. She's going to get taken out. Nowhere to go for her. Now Jinx is still under fire. Rek'Sai trying to get in there. Cactus doesn't build up any rage. He had just expended his rage bar right before the fight started. The final spark coming in, not doing enough damage, but with a super mega death rocket, one target goes super low. Janna with her Monsoon heals a couple targets. There's Jinx getting taken out by a huge crit out of the 80 carry of Enigma. They return one onto Gnar, Fizz taking that one down, and now Void Gaming actually able to take down the Dragon. Very risky play out of Enigma here, and this time around, at least they get punished.
Yeah, this time they got punished, and a very risky play, as you said, but they had to do this risky plays because if they do decide to dive a tower, then they will be have to be very careful around the CC that Void Gaming brings, and I'm not sure that they really want to dive these towers, because even though they have a lot of CC and peeling for Jinx, but it looks like they're doing a Baron, and they could actually take this down. A lot of damage on Sliver right now, and nobody is in the area to contest this from Void Gaming, so a free Baron over to Enigma Gaming.
So this right now makes a lot more sense. Like, they didn't have to try for that Dragon. At least they make a good Baron play now. Have to be careful that they manage to get out. One more auto hit, that's Sivir going down, and Enigma going to be very, very content with themselves on that one. But they didn't have to fight that Dragon earlier. They could have waited for Gnar to get his Rage Bar back, then take a safe Dragon where they wouldn't have been contested. They messed that fight up, but they said, hey, the enemies are all low. We know that because we just fought them in the jungle and their health bars were around 200 HP. Rek'Sai also smited once and then used one on the Dragon, so they're not going to have that either. Let's rush Baron. It makes perfect sense. They have so much damage on the Jinx. 6-1-1 right now after that kill just now, and they take that down for free. So they give one objective up needlessly, really. I'm still kind of annoyed that they did that because it was definitely unnecessary, but then they traded for the Baron, so to speak, which in turn makes it okay again.
Oh, and
yeah, that final spark still hit him. Gragas ultimate used as well. He's gonna try to burrow out over the wall. Doesn't quite have it up. Gragas takes that one down. And now free pushing the bot lane with Baron minions. There's nothing that will keep that tower alive.
And now Enigma Gaming starts the sieging play. This is all they really wanted. They've had a really hard time sieging till now, but now that they have Baron, they don't have to be careful about diving. They don't have to watch out for the wave clear from Owner and Fear, and they can just go in and go hard, but now we might see a fight.
Yeah, Fizz teleporting in, Sliver already getting hit up hard, Sivir doing a bunch of damage, plus the Chaos Storm. Gnar was inside the enemy base. His Gnar bar is finally full. He could go for the dive now if he wanted to. Don't think that's a good idea, and the disengage should be here. Oh, that's a light binding. The cleanse gets Victor out, and the Super Mega Death Rocket intercepted here by Fizz. Dark Binding lands onto Sivir. That could still be the fight. They get the light binding down as well. There's the Lucid Singularity, and Sivir is so low that really, I don't think there's anything they can do. The only saving grace was that Cactus didn't have any range whatsoever. Gnar obviously having expended that just earlier, but it's enough to take the tower down. Nobody was there to defend it anymore, and the first inhibitor goes down at just over 25 minutes.
Yeah, very well played for Enigma, just abusing the buff that they got from Baron and utilizing it to get a free inhibitor in the bot lane. this will help. It's not the best inhibitor they could have gotten since Baron is down, but it does help for when Baron comes up again. Then they will have an open inhibitor in the bot lane, and with the inhibitor, if they got the inhibitor down in the bot lane, oh Nico.
Yeah, he's still got the blue buff, but the question is, can he get out now? The tornado knocking him up once again, the monsoon knocking him back. There is Morgana. She's not going to be able to help enough. The light binding doesn't connect onto anyone as well. This is actually really dangerous for Enigma. They have to get out of this one and have to get out fast without losing any additional members. This could be the turnaround point. Beautiful light binding onto Rek'Sai just to slow her down, to make her not get onto Cactus as fast. He needs that Mega Gnar if he wants to turn this around. Super Mega Death Rocket doing a huge amount of damage, and that's Victor going down. Now Gnar is big, and he wants some more fighting. He walks forward. I don't think he's going to get anywhere because the Sivir ultimate was popped. No, not even. They're just really, really fast, actually. 2 minutes until the next dragon comes up. I don't think that's even going to matter. Big, big wave in the bot lane. The top lane also pushing for Enigma, and they're just going to siege up mid. I mean, why the hell not?
Yeah, why not? The wave clear is gone from Void Gaming. Victor is down. Sivir had to go back, so why not just get an extra inhibitor? They might... Yeah, they will probably be able. There's not really going to be anybody that can get them away from this, and Sliver will just run out from the top.
Yeah, Lux flashing away. The question is, can they fully disengage, or will they still get caught? The light bindings have been so on point. Lux still gonna go down because there was more follow-up. Sliver now in a lot of trouble to heal out of Sivir just to speed them up again and flash away from Jinx. She still wants the kill onto Fizz. That's not gonna work. Double kill for him. 500 gold shutdown too. That's gonna be beautiful. Jinx didn't really have anywhere to go from there. Doesn't even matter. They got the second inhibitor. 1 inhib. You can defend that. 2 inhibs? That's really, really difficult. With Dragon coming up in 1 minute and Baron just around 3 minutes to go, Void Gaming have no choice, no way to contest either one of those objectives.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how Void Gaming will try to come back from this. But if I was Enigma Gaming now, then I would actually, and I am a bit salty about this. I have seen Fortunate building the banner of command for 3 games now, and I'm not even sure if it used it yet. So I want to see him use it
in the first one. I know that. He used it several times in the first one.
I didn't notice that, but I want to see him use it in the top lane and just then make the rest of the team go to Dragon, and while the top lane pushes with the banner of command, then just go take the Dragon, and then whenever the top lane gets to either the inner tower or the inhibitor turret, then go for that and just use your advantage in that way with the band of command. But
Enigma making a really interesting choice here. They're completely giving up the dragon. They want the top inner tower apparently instead. Have no one on dragon. Gnar had recalled, so now they're just going to trade that, I guess, and think about whether they can push on the inhibitor, but they're completely giving up the second one. That's going to make it 2-2, and they're only getting the inner turret, not even the inhibitor. That's really weird to me, because they could have just gotten that dragon easily and then gotten the top inner turret just afterwards, because they've got 2 inhibitors down. They've got all the map pressure they want. Either way, they didn't, and here comes the engage. The Sivir ultimate is down. Gragas, what are you going to be able to do? Lux gets caught right in the middle, goes down very early on. Soul Shackles are on. They're trying to get on top of Fizz. He takes a huge amount of damage. Super Mega Death Rocket gonna finish him off. Meanwhile, Gnar in the backline does massive amounts of damage, knocks everybody into a wall, and it's a triple kill for Sliver already. Only Oath now limping away from that one. They might be able to end the game. Flash away from the Dark Binding just to stay alive and try to defend the game. That's going to be GG. Well played with a surrender vote coming out.
And
Enigma
Void,
beasting it.
yeah, Void Gaming has to think about what they did wrong and how to improve on the last game. And I'm really having a hard time visualizing how Void Gaming can come back from this. They didn't do anything, to be honest, in the early game. There were so many things that they could have done better, but it was pretty much just Enigma outplaying them. Enigma utilized their power spikes, and they even got an early lead, and that's not what you want to give a late game team. But also Enigma showed that they played better as a team than Void Gaming, so I'm really looking forward to see if Void Gaming can fix their team decision problems in the next game.
Yeah, so they definitely need to do some more work. Enigma got to be pretty happy with themselves already winning that one. And it's not going to be too long. Both of the teams already getting ready in the next lobby. So it won't be long until we're back with game 2. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. The team's already getting ready in the next lobby. So it won't be long until we're back with game 2. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello guys and welcome back to the second game of this grand final in the May monthly final of Go4LoL on EUW, and it looks like we are heading into heading into Champions League very soon, and this might end up being our last game of today. Enigma Gaming are up 1-0, and it looks like they want to take home the grand prize of 500 euros.
Exactly. So it's already 1-0 for Enigma. They've beaten Void Gaming last time, and they're very, very good at playing the way they do. They get the lane swap going, they win the lane swap already, and then they get the power spikes, and they play with the power spikes, and then they win the game. They've done this every single time, and we'll see whether they can pull it out again and do it the 4th time in a row to win the 500 euros grand prize. And yeah, I hope we'll actually get going soon, because both the teams did say they were theoretically ready.
Well, Enigma is ready, and Void Gaming said they were ready as well, but now we are going into the pick and bans.
Hooray! We've managed.
Hooray. Yeah, and Alistar coming out for Enigma, as they have banned him like the last 4 games that we have watched them.
Yep, Alistar always being taken off the board here, together with Echo and what else were they always banning? Rise.
Rise.
There it is, and it's taken right off the board. Of course, here Void Gaming respecting that Gragas. They did a lot of work again last time. Nico's so good on that one. They ban it away. It's not gonna be here. Let's see what else they take off the table, whether there are more bans coming in. What about Jinx? Because, you know, whenever we've seen Sliver play Jinx, he's pretty much demolished everyone.
Maybe Jinx, or maybe even a Morgana could be coming in.
Ekram for now.
But I don't think that Enigma will be banning the Echo now. I think they would like to pick it up. They are the first picks, so it would be really weird if they banned it. And there are some other picks that would be better to ban, like an Azir or Fizz, Cassiopeia, Kalista. But we haven't seen that in any of the Enigma games, and the last ban is gonna be Fizz.
Okay. Void Gaming banned Echo last time. Let's see whether they do so again this time around. Now, especially since they're on red side and wouldn't even get to first pick it, so they might still take it off the board. But if they do that, you know, all the other power picks are still being left open. Enigma get their free pick of the litter again. Varus also going to be open this time, and Caps, he's played Lux twice now. Varus once. We'll see what he picks up this time, and the Morgana actually being taken out. Echo first pick. You called it. You knew it, and I'm looking forward to this one. I actually really want to see where it goes, whether that's a jungle top or mid lane Echo.
Yeah, and it is certainly a flex pick that Void Gaming has to respect. It can go anywhere, and they definitely have to pick some blind picks into it, because they don't know where it will go, but it does apply some pressure to the team of Void Gaming. They can't pick anything that is too risky.
So what are they going to go for? I mean, really, any additional pressure going onto them after already being 0-1 is not exactly what they would feel comfortable with or what they would want. But yeah, I'm definitely looking for something to come out, and I think the Rumble is actually a very good choice. It's something that counteracts this heavy teamfight potential out of Enigma that they've shown time and time again. Taking the Rek'Sai is also a good pick that did work decently last time already. Sadly, not quite as effective as the Gragas, but now that Gragas is off the table, it's definitely a good pick. Rumble, incredibly powerful for the teamfights, as I've already mentioned, especially around the mid-game, where Enigma starts turning on. He'll have that equalizer if he manages to get a Haunting guys in there, possibly the Sorcerer's Shoes as well. He's gonna have a lot of magic penetration, do a whole ton of damage. If you stand on that equalizer, it's gonna separate the teamfight. But what is Enigma responding with? They're hovering that Aatrox. No way they're gonna lock that in, because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever against a Rumble, really. Not expecting that one to seriously come through. They have a variety of picks still left open. Bard was banned last time, so they might lock that one in, and they are going to, plus the Varus in the mid lane again.
Yeah, it will help with the combo that they are looking for. The Echo just using his Time Winder, or maybe even his Chrono Break on top of some of the lockdown people that has been locked down by the Varus ultimate, or Bard's ultimate. So some very good picks and a lot of flex pick coming in with the Varus, and they do have some pressure applied now since they have some very strong lanes coming in. The Bard with a lot of heal and a lot of pressure in lane and a lot of pressure when roaming. And on the other side of Void Gaming, we are looking at a Caitlyn and maybe a Twitch, but I'm not so sure on Twitch.
No way.
He's a very, very weak AD carry right now in the laning phase.
I mean, he probably wouldn't even go into the AD position. He'd probably go mid.
Oh.
Whoa. Okay. So either they do pick Twitch for that bot lane and put the Caitlyn up against Varus, which does kind of work. She's also a very pokey AD carry against the Varus, who's only going to be using those piercing arrows. But this is definitely throwing Enigma for a loop. There's no way they expected this. There's no way they've practiced against this. But even if it's a mid lane Twitch, that guy can do a massive amount of damage if he gets to just free fire for a little bit. If he manages to stay safe at all, he is going to wreck whoever he's up against. And if Varus gets surprised by Twitch a couple times, Varus is so low on mobility, Twitch would have a very good chance that if he does get the ambush down, he'll be able to take him out very, very quickly. So this is super exciting, and I'm now looking forward to this game even more.
Yeah, and also with the Twitch pick, you will be able to apply a lot of pressure with his roaming and his Qs. But when I'm thinking about it, I could actually expect maybe the Twitch to go in the jungle, Rumble in the mid lane, and Rek'Sai in the top lane. It's not something you usually see, but a Twitch does have a very strong level 2 gank. Rek'Sai has been played in the top lane before, and Rumble, he can go mid, but Cockmore being hovered right here.
No. They need a support now. They can't do more weird stuff like that. Anyway, on the other side, Enigma picking up the Corki. It's a very strong AD carry as well. We saw it earlier once in Game 2 that Enigma played today. They're very capable of utilizing that. It's their general pick when they are with a Varus, just to add some little bit of magic damage into the mix. What?
Yeah, I was told that,
that has to be a placeholder.
The Twitch pick was actually a Nautilus pick.
Yeah, that makes so much more sense. Okay, the placeholder. Okay, what the hell? Because that was super weird.
Oh god, they banned age function already.
I mean, at this point it doesn't matter because we saw the entirety of Champion Select, but at least now we know what that Twitch was supposed to be. Corki and Gnar were the last two picks on the side of Enigma, which make a lot more sense. You know, Gnar, we've seen what he can do. We've seen what Cactus is able to do with that champion towards the late game. Corki, the generally strong AD carry that has the mixed damage that he can throw out. Bard, the super powerful support with a lot of early game poke, the tempered fade towards the mid and late game to disengage whatever you don't want, to engage at a super long range whatever you do want. Now, Twisted Fate, he's going to be looking to put on all the global pressure, and I want to see him, as soon as he hits level 6, try and go gank, because that is what he's good at. That is what what his specialty is, and when he's able to properly utilize that, it'll be really, really cool.
And it might actually be a cocky mid. They are trolling us.
No way. They're just messing with the other team as well, and with us.
Well, I think it actually will be cocky mid. He does have the cleanse, so if he will go up against a Twisted Fate, and they are, well, I would love to see an AP cocky.
Well, the thing is, like, up until now, Varus was never against or Caps generally, with both his Lux and his Varus. It wasn't against a heavy crowd control composition. This time around, there's a snare on Nautilus, and there's a stun card out of Twisted Fate. So suddenly, that cleanse makes a lot more sense, and it is going to be the Varus mid. Damn it, guys! I was right. Okay, I'm happy with that. They stopped playing with me. They stopped messing with me. But that cleanse makes a whole lot more sense this time than all the last times. You also see Twisted Fate going for it just because it does make more sense. Lately, the mid laners have a huge impact on the game, but it's so easy to mess up just once and throw the whole game with that one mess up that you had, where you get caught by a Cosmic Binding out of Bard, where you get caught by the Chains of Corruption out of Varus, and suddenly the whole game goes to breaks to pieces and you lose off of one mistake. So the cleanse, a much more useful summoner spell here than basically anything else, because both of those guys just want to poke and then go for the trade somewhere else anyway. Like Twisted Fate wants to gank side lanes, he doesn't need the ignite for the mid lane then. But Nautilus picking that one up, by the way. So Nautilus and Caitlyn going to be looking to make an impact on that bottom lane this time. Bard picking up the exhaust, that's not going to do too much, really, in most of these engages, but I still expect Bard and Corki to have the upper hand, unless they constantly get caught by Nautilus hooks.
Well, I actually could expect Corki and Bard to do a lane swap.
Yep, I mean, it's Enigma. They will.
Yeah, but also they have a lot of burst, but the team of Void Gaming has a lot of poke, and if you go in with a Nautilus and lock someone down with your passive, and then you also have an ignite, that's a lot of pressure that you create, but also it's gonna hurt on whoever gets locked down from Enigma Gaming. So just to play it safe, I would go for a lane swap, but also in the late game you will be very, very strong as Enigma Gaming, because you have a double AD carry composition while still having some ability power from your jungler. So if you can just play safe and still apply some pressure to Caitlyn, because you don't want the Caitlyn to get too far ahead, or, well, the thing about Caitlyn is you don't want her to get ahead, because once she gets out of laning phase, she's gonna be very, very non-useful, because she's here in a laning phase, she's really, really strong, and then when she gets out of laning phase, she falls, and she's not very strong anymore, and then once she gets her third or fourth item, then she is going to be very, very strong again. So if you can delay that power spike for Caitlyn, then it will be super, super good. But also if you send Coctus, and now I'm talking about a lane swap again, if you send Coctus to the bottom lane, he will be able to farm with his boomerang, so I could expect a lane swap.
Exactly. So, I mean, it is Enigma, and they have that Gnar, and with Gnar, it is so easy to do a lane swap. He's one of the best champions for it. They also, as you said, want to keep Caitlyn down. Caitlyn, as you said, 2 big power spikes, one in the early game, one in the late game, super weak in mid. So that's exactly where Enigma is trying to push the Void Gaming team into. However, that mid-game power lull from Caitlyn will be somewhat counteracted by the Rumble, and at the same time, if they can keep Rumble down through the lane swap, hey, even better. However, Rumble is one of the better champions in a lane swap as well, so he at least will be able to deal with that somewhat well. For the early dives, if Bard is there, I give the edge to Enigma. If Bard isn't there, Void Gaming will actually have the better call, because with Rek'Sai and Nautilus, they have so much early game tank potential and swapping the turret aggro between them that a dive should be very, very easy for them to execute.
Definitely, and you would never want to go up against a Bard in a dive, because his Q in the early game has such a long duration on the stun that if you do get the lockdown under tower, you're probably gonna be dead, because it is such a long duration. That's basically all about it.
Yeah, it is. So right now, Void Gaming moving down towards the bot lane as a 5-man team. They're trying to catch Corki out of position, and he's right there, and we get a pause right off the bat. Before they find him.
Pause, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too long this time. I think someone probably lagging again, and we'll be getting back into this game as soon as possible.
God damn it, Sliver.
Pretty much. God damn it, Sliver. Get your stuff together.
It's Nico.
Oh, this time around it's Nico. Then it shouldn't take that as long as last time, probably.
I hope not.
But Cap's going for that longsword yet again, and it's so weird because most Varus mid will go for the crystalline flask. They want to spam the piercing arrow, they want to farm the waves with that, they want to be able to sustain themselves if they get poked out a bit, and Twisted Fate is a champion that could poke you, and even has kill pressure if he lands a stun card, plus the wild cards on top of that. So I'm curious as to why he keeps doing this, but it seems to work for him. He did very well with it earlier, picking up the tier on his first recall, and then went into lane again with 3 longswords. Here's his stun card. Twisted Fate is going to flash, and he's going to hit that. Now, where's Corki going to go? He's forced to skill Valkyrie first, manages to get out of danger, but that's going to definitely significantly weaken his early game.
Yeah, that will definitely weaken his early game, and but it wouldn't be that bad if Enigma does the usual Enigma trick and do a lane swap. But actually, I can see a bit why Caps started with the longsword. He has 50 more range on his autos than Fear with the Twisted Fate, but still, you want to keep farming and you want to just spam your abilities. So with the extra mana regen and health regen you get from a lot of pots and the crystalline flask, I would definitely not call it something you should do every game. It's only if you really want to go for the early game.
So now, Bard hanging around the bot lane. They're going to help on the red buff, and it is going to be the usual swap. Corki staying solo in the top lane, though, while Caitlyn and Nautilus take away the Gromp on the bottom half. They're going to have the early level 2 already on Caitlyn to try and push that one in, so Nar not going to have the best time in that lane, and he doesn't look to be actually, he might just be double jungling for a little while longer. They're moving around to the mid lane. This might be an early 3-4 man gank into mid, and I don't think Twisted Fate is expecting something like this at all. Has a stun card selected right now.
He has no flash.
That's going to be the echo. He gets in there. The stun is down. There's the exhaust, the hail of arrows, and that is going to be first blood. Nari even flashing into the turret, getting himself killed. That is not what you wanted to do. The kill was already secured. He flashes to his death, and that kind of messes up this whole beautiful early game plan.
Yeah, Cactus going a bit too aggressive there. I'm not quite sure he knew that Caps would be able to land that last auto attack, but very well played from Enigma, just setting the phase already from the start and just saying, hey, we want the 500 euros, you have to take it from us and you have to really go up for a fight on it.
So Caitlyn right now is pushing the lane definitely a lot harder than the Corki is up top. So after this early phase, the minions are going to push towards the tower of Enigma on the bot lane, whereas the top lane will not will also push towards them. So they can really have their free pick of where they want to go. And with Rek'Sai moving down towards the bot lane right now, it looks like Void Gaming want to push down the bottom lane a little bit faster. Just, get that off the board right away. Now Twisted Fate is only level 2 to the level 3 out of Varus. He's got the edge in the mid lane, and Echo and Nar now moving up to top. They're starting to shove that one. And Rumble just running around headlessly in the jungle. Doesn't know where to go. Doesn't know where to pick up experience or farm. Figures, hey, I might as well say hi to Twisted Fate. And flash over the wall. He gets the harpoon down. The stun card is there from Twisted Fate as well, but they're not going to be able to get a kill here. They just don't have the raw damage. And, yeah, Farah's going to be able to walk away from that one.
To be honest, I'm not quite sure why Diesor isn't in the bot lane. He could have gotten a bit of experience and not fallen so far behind if he was in the bot lane, and he's not really doing anything right now, while Cactus is helping Enigma to get that tower. They will not get it as soon as Void Gaming, and now they have to be careful for Void Gaming if they decide to push even harder.
No, they're just gonna get the dragon. Void Gaming actually playing this really, really well. They, despite Rumble not being down in that bottom lane, they made the call for the 4-man push faster because Caitlyn had already been pushing that lane out. They definitely had the edge on that one. whereas Enigma was freezing the top lane when they saw Rumble at mid. They said, okay, hey, we can also go for the 4-man push. There's no real danger to us here, but that means that the early dragon goes over to Void Gaming as well. They have a nice little bit of an edge here now. It's 1-to-1 in towers, and they're very even on CS all across the board. Now they're moving over to mid, and also going to get maybe a little bit of damage there, and at least a lot of pressure put on here onto Enigma right off the bat. So well played by Void Gaming, and let's see whether they can keep this up. Let's see whether they can stay that half step ahead of Enigma that they were just now.
Yeah, very nice decision for Void Gaming, just knowing that there's not going to be any contest on the dragon and just going for it, and then setting the fate, setting the page of the game, and
Pace.
just say, yeah, the pace.
The
Yeah,
pace.
sorry, my tongue is
No
it's not really on with me right now.
Figured I'd help you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyways, they are setting the face of the game and just saying, we also want these 500 euros, and you also had to give up a fight for it. But right now we can actually see that Enigma Gaming are ahead in gold, but that's mainly because of farm. And you know, the first dragon isn't the worst to give up. They can still come back from it, and with some smart plays that we know Enigma Gaming can make, then I'm not too worried for them.
So where's this dive gonna be? Rek'Sai around the side. They would have the knockup. The stun from Bard was just used, though they don't have that. They exhaust instantly onto Rek'Sai, but she's not the one tanking the turret. Caitlyn gets an easy kill here, and now is Bard also going to be in trouble. Caitlyn starts tanking the tower, nets herself out of trouble. Rek'Sai picks that one up. Beautifully played. Void Gaming getting all the kills now down in the bot lane. Dizor in a lot of trouble. They did a good amount of damage, but Nico has to go back. He was tanking the turret, and that means Rumble gets out scot-free. And once again, the play from Void Gaming is just a little bit better. They're going to get that top tower. Might trade it for bot, but they got the 2 kills up top for themselves, and now Caps in a whole bunch of trouble. Twisted Fate, that next card should do the trick. He also has a flash if he wants to. One more auto attack. The corrupted Chain of Corruption, just a little bit too late to keep Varus safe.
And Caps is going very aggressive in this mid lane, and Nico and Sliver are just looking to get... Yeah, they will dive this, and a very clean dive coming in for them, but in the top we're just seeing a 3-man push.
Yeah, right now they can afford to. Only Nara was there, and they traded the outer towers again. So it's 2-2 in towers. But just because of the way that Void Gaming has played this, they're now 4-2 in kills, 1 dragon ahead, and 800 gold, roughly. So... you know, Enigma are famous for the lane swaps. They're famous for playing these early games, and we saw that in all the games up to now. Like, they came out of the lane swap ahead almost every single time. This time, though, Void Gaming just making the better moves, getting the better of Enigma, making the first call to go for the first turret push, and then making the call for that dive up top lane and executing it beautifully. The exhaust going onto the wrong person from Fortunate. That was unfortunate, so to speak. And, yeah, you know, everything just kind of working against them.
Yeah, and I do feel like that Nico, when he's not playing Gragas or Rek'Sai, he is having a hard time finding these engages in the early game when he doesn't have that much. He doesn't have any reliable CC on the side of his champion, and I feel like he is tilting a bit when playing Echo.
Fortunate getting through the wall just in time. Here comes the Echo. They're going on to Rek'Sai first. She flashes away. Twisted Fate with a stun card locked on the other side of the wall. Nara already very, very low. That blue buff losing some HP is resetting now. Who wants to pick this one up? Who will pick it up? Varus with the arrow will not, but that is Echo now taking it down just in time before the Twisted Fate cards could. Now he wants the crab as well. Bard is over the wall. That's going to be his stun onto Bard. He has no way onto Nautilus. I mean, he has nowhere to go. The Chain of Corruption lands beautifully onto Caitlyn. She flashes over the wall. Bard Echo, I mean, follows her. Hail of Arrows comes down out of Varus. That tower is still standing, though. They can't chase onto that. They settle for Rek'Sai instead. Don't need the Caitlyn if you can have someone else. Twisted Fate on the other side of the wall is not going to be able to defend this tower at all. Yes, Rumble is free farming, but who cares when you get 2 kills and that mid lane tower?
And now Enigma are starting to go ahead, and they are just like the last games we have seen them. They are punishing their opponents' mistakes.
And it's so odd because they made a couple of bad calls, and theoretically you'd think, hey, they're behind right now. But then suddenly the opponents just get that little tiny bit cocky. They make one mistake, and Enigma don't just take the pinky. They don't just take the stretched out finger. They bite your whole arm off. And that's exactly what they did there. They didn't settle for one kill. They kept going. They take a second one, and then they take the mid lane tower. And now suddenly they're completely back in this. 50 seconds until the next dragon. And you can see Nico already sitting around there, wants to keep that pink ward alive. Not going to be able to this time around because the entire rest of his team had recalled. But they don't want to give this second dragon up. And you can see that already. They're already saying, hey, we'll be around. Hey, we'll want to fight for this one. And Nico clearing the mid lane, gets a stun onto Caitlyn. There's nobody else to follow up, so he doesn't try and kill her. But the pressure is on, and they're back in the gold lead. They're back in control, and it's going to be extremely dangerous for Void Gaming to make any moves around this next one.
Yeah, and Enigma Gaming aren't afraid of getting their hands dirty. They are always going in, even though they are behind. They don't care. They will always find mistakes, and if they find some, they will definitely just take advantage of it. Like you said, they will bite your whole arm off. And now they want to get that middle tower. Oh no, they haven't already. They haven't it already.
They've already gotten that one. Good
They just
attempt in the
want
mid
to
lane.
play. They just want to play some pressure and then get the dragon afterwards.
Dragon is up right now. Nico recalling, actually. Let's see what he's able to get with that. He gets a sight stone, so he's a lot more wards. Gets the tier 1 boots as well. But it might just give that window of opening over to Void Gaming that they need to go for the dragon. They already had that Rift Scuttler crab as well for the vision. They're attacking the dragon. Echo's still very far away. He's not going to be able to come in there. Good Bard ultimate. That's going to stall the dragon. But it didn't reset it. There comes the Rumble ultimate. Oh, and Gnar, you are so screwed. You're not even going to go big in time. Yes, he is. And the Gnar ultimate keeps him safe because it stuns up the Rek'Sai. Now the exhaust is down. The last piercing arrow takes down Rek'Sai. That's a double kill on Varus now after he took down Rumble as well. That guy got exhausted, so he didn't do any damage whatsoever. Now Echo's in the mix. That's a kill for him. He takes down Caitlyn. Dragon was left alive because of that Bard ultimate. What crazy play here out of Enigma. Being able to stall that. And then here comes the Twisted Fate ultimate. He still wants Gnar. Didn't have a cart locked in, and that's why he doesn't manage to pick anything up. That's his ultimate wasted. And the first dragon of the game for Enigma. Holy hell, how did they just pull that off?
Enigma are playing so smart. They haven't even really gotten any power spike right now. They are just playing so smart and knowing their limits and knowing what they can do towards the enemy's mistakes and what they can do when the enemy are doing this and when they're doing that, and also they know what the enemy champions are capable of. So I'm really loving to see how smart they play. But now that there is some quiet in this game, I'd really like to talk about something I find really smart for Enigma. You will always see Nico going for that early sidestone, and it's something Anon isn't doing. Is really hurting the team of Void Gaming that they don't have that many wards like Enigma has. They don't always have a lot of wards placed on the map, but they will always be ready to place a lot of wards. And
ooh, the Chin Corruption lands. That's a dead Caitlyn.
And Caitlyn gets caught.
But you can see that was 2 piercing arrows plus 1 more auto attack from each Bard and Varus. Like, Caitlyn doesn't have HP, and Varus already, with that Brutalizer and the Manamune, does so much damage. He's just able to poke his enemies out of any fight, like, before it even happens. And it's very, very scary here for Void Gaming. How do they deal with this? They're now sieging the mid lane. Nautilus coming in, clearing the wave, but a couple rockets and a piercing arrow come in, and he's down to half HP. One more of that, and he'll go down. Now Gnar is getting aggressive up in top lane because Rumble is overheated, doing a whole bunch of damage, and they're sieging mid. They're almost getting that tower. Echo tanking the tower. Huge knock up here. Bard almost already going down. The ace in the hole gonna get interrupted by Corki. And a very nice play here out of Enigma. There comes the Twisted Fate ultimate. Is flashed away from by Varus, but they get the depth charge onto Echo. He's now in a whole bunch of trouble. The teleport comes in after the stun card landed, but look at that piercing arrow chunking out Nautilus, getting the kill, and Rumble still isn't in the fight. Another stun card onto Cactus. Fortunate is so low. He has to be extremely careful. Any auto attack from any of the champions on Void Gaming will mean his life. Now Corki dashes forward, wants to get onto Rumble. Flash away from that guy, saves him. Piercing arrow doesn't hit anyone. Corki Echo is still over the wall. Corki is there as well. Another rocket lands and Echo might dash over the wall. There's a parallel convergence. He's not going to get anyone in that. And at last, they finally disengage.
Yeah, and just once again, we can see how good Enigma are playing as a team and how they're just playing around the different power spikes they have.
So,
and there's not a lot to say about the fights except that they are playing like a very smart team.
yeah, they know exactly how much they can take and when they can take it. Caitlyn here down to very low HP. A piercing arrow will finish her off, but Caps has taken a bunch himself. It's crazy how they're trying to defend this tower with about 200 HP on each one of their members. The wild card hits Cactus. He needs that Meganar right now or he's going to go down. And he would transform, but they're going to have to let this tower drop. Actually, they don't, because, you know, they held on so long with 200 HP that Void Gaming decide to back off. Like, how did they do this? They had 200 HP on each one of their members, and they keep a tower alive. It shouldn't be possible against a team that had health, that had long-range poke, that had the ability to knock a tower down. But they're so afraid, because of how Enigma has been playing, that they don't even want to go for that.
And you really know that your team is having a problem when your Rumble in the top lane has to build armor as his first item. He doesn't have any magic penetration, so he's really gonna not have any power spike whatsoever for the next 10 minutes, since he has to go. Oh well, he does get some magic penetration now, but he still had to go for that early armor from the Seeker's armor guard, so it really delayed his power spike, and Oath has to be careful now.
Yeah, that is very true, and it's definitely gonna hurt the way they can team fight around this dragon in 1.5 minutes. At least he finally has the haunting guys to combo with everything else, but is that really gonna be enough? Echo, Corki, why do I keep calling him Echo? Finds Caitlyn during the recall. There's nothing she can do. Look at the damage. She has a Trinity Force stun. She doesn't even have the Infinity Edge. He cleans her up right away. A piercing arrow lands onto Twisted Fate. They want to fight around this. The Bard ultimate is flashed out of by that Twisted Fate, and the depth charge going onto Varus. That's not going to use really be of any use whatsoever. They pick up the kill. Varus going to steal away the enemy blue buff and take another kill for himself. Where's Twisted Fate going to go? Does he really want this? Because against a Bard and an Echo, that would not be a fun time that he would be having. So that ultimate down as well. They're just going to siege bot lane.
And Dragon is up in 45 seconds, and they just stole the blue buff for Varus, and they wants to die. But with the blue buff onto Caps, he will be able to just spam whenever they are going for the dragon, and it looks like they will be able to get the bottom tower, and then they can just go back and they can get a lot of items. They have so much gold in their pockets right now that they will be able to at least buy some components for some items which will give them the lead once they go into a dragon fight.
Alright, here Gnar trying to knock down the middle tower, does get it just as Rek'Sai comes around, tries to pick him up, but he still has his Gnar jump. Here's the tunnel though, that's going to force the flash. The Prey Seeker comes out, but the Boomerang is going to slow Rek'Sai down enough that he's clean and out of there. Now he's going to recall. He doesn't quite have his teleport up, so that's not going to be able to come in just yet.
Yeah, not just yet, and once they once they do go to the holy I'm not gonna swear.
That hurts.
I'm not gonna swear. Yeah, but that's half the health from fear, and that's basically just Caps having a Humus Ghost Blade, a mana moon, and the components for a Last Whisper.
So Twisted Fate not getting anything done in this game. He's 1-1-0 compared to the 6-1-4 out of Ferris. 2-0-7 on Corki. The entire team of Enigma is so fed, and it's a completely free second dragon here for them. I mean, what do Void Gaming really want to do? It's 19.5 minutes into the game, and they're down 6,000 gold. Like, where do they go from here?
Well, the problem is that they have no wave clear, so all they really can do is teamfight, and that is what they're gonna do.
So here, big fight around the Baron, and they got the depth charge onto one person, but it's just not good enough because Twisted Fate doesn't manage to do anything. He doesn't have a Zonius, doesn't stay alive, and is the first kill already down. Cap's gonna take the ace in the hole, doesn't even die to it. They at least get barred, but now that the teleport was in there from the Gnar as well, they're gonna take down Rek'Sai. They're gonna take down Caitlyn as well. The Quirky Rocket not quite doing it. Echo taking down Dan as well, and only Rumble left alive after a beautiful fight, and that's gonna be the surrender vote after only 20 minutes. 16-5 in kills and 34,500 to 27,500. That is Enigma taking the win in this month's monthly final, in the grand final of this month's monthly final, and the 500 euros right along with it.
Yeah, and very well played for Enigma, just showing why they should be the #1 seeded team in this tournament. They just went up against the #1 seeded team, and I must say I'm really impressed of how good Enigma Gaming are at playing like a team. They are always together. They are always supporting each other for whatever is coming against them, and I'm really impressed. I'm speechless.
I mean, we should be, because Enigma just played it so smoothly every time, and it was the same deal. They executed their composition, and it's just impressive that nobody can keep up with this. And just as impressive is that, you know, Sliver, he's played 2 champions, and Jinx and Corki are really very different. He's performed phenomenally on both of them. Caps playing on both Lux and Varus, and while they do have a somewhat similar playstyle, you know, poke the enemy out with whatever you can throw at them, they're still very different in the way you have to play them, especially in the big team fights. Then it's just really telling when a team can do all this. The way they respond to lane swaps, they clearly have a plan not only for the first 3 minutes, but for the first 15 minutes of the game. No matter what happens. They get shut down in the lane swap like this time, no worries, guys. We know exactly when we go in. They get, you know, they win the lane swap as they did in the first game of the series. No problem, guys. They know exactly how to play it out. They win. When they get called on the lane swap earlier, no problem, guys. They wait for the power spike and they win. Like, it's always the same story with them.
Yeah, and they played so well, and I'm really glad that these guys won, because they really showed how well they play and how they are on such a different level than the other teams that they are playing against.
Well, that does it for this tournament, though. I'll be looking for them to enter the next one and see whether they can do that again, because that'd be cool.
Yeah, and thank you all for watching, and be sure to tune in tomorrow when Goose the Grey and I'll be casting the EU
Northeast.
the Nordic East tournament. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon.